I want to wish each and every one of you a happy Sunday. I hope you guys, oh my gosh, my phone just like tilted because someone texted me. Um, but I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. I just want to hop on here quick, knowing me it'll probably be longer than quick, but just to talk about a few things. One we've talked about before, like the love of God, or like how he loves us or how we love him and everything. But in Holy Communion today, somebody keeps texting. I totally experienced God in the full measure again, and it was breathtaking. Literally breathtaking. It was really nice. But I want to talk about God's love in depth. So there's a book out called I Killed Maria Goretti. For those of you who don't know the story about St. Maria Goretti, she was around 11, 14-year-old girl that this young Italian man killed because she would not consent to having sex with him. He tried to seduce her, tried to rape her. Nothing would work. She was very bent on, this is a mortal sin. You're going to go to hell, and telling him all this stuff. And he killed her. He wounded her severely with a dagger. Anyway, so I could just tell this story actually, because I'm sure none of you have heard it. But oh my gosh, there's just so many people texting me. I'm sorry. You guys, don't I look pretty? My hair's long, and I have the cutest little earrings on. And the cutest little ring on. But yeah, so happy Sunday. But getting back to that story, so this family, the Gorettis, were in Italy around, I want to say it was like 1900s. I don't know the full story, but I know what is needed to know. And they were very, very poor. And the father got some sort of disease from this mosquito carrying the, I forget what it's called. It's like a disease. And he got it and he died. So the mom there was like 5 kids or something with this mom. And the dad died. And then at that time, they were having like this shared house. Oh my gosh, someone said I love God. That is so cute. I just have to stop this story real quick. Let me see who said it. Mechanic Shop Express, I love God. I love God too. Yay! That really makes me happy because I love God. I love God. So they're in this house. They're sharing a house with let me think. I think they're called the Serenellis. So the Gorettis and Serenellis were sharing this house. And then, oh, I love God. There it is again. So they were sharing this house. Alessandro was the kid. Not kid, he was 19. And then the dad was, I forget what his name was, but he was there too, and he was always getting drunk and like just stupid stuff. So Alessandro, who was the kid, started taking a liking to Maria Goretti. And they say she was about 11. I think most of the stories say she's about 14. But she did not like him. She probably liked him, but not liked him. Anyway, so he keeps telling her like lewd jokes and all this stuff. And she's like, okay. I forget this one part. But anyway, so he stabbed her because she wouldn't have sex with him. And then trying to think what happened. So he ran out, or he locked himself in his room. Either way, the police got him and he goes to jail. Well, she was taken to the hospital and they couldn't get her anesthesia because I forget why. So they did open heart, basically surgery on this 14-year-old girl without anesthesia. And she was like in pain. And the priest said, look, you're going to die. Like, what do you have to say to God, or what do you want to confess, or whatever he was saying? And She said, I want to see Alessandro in heaven with me because she forgave him, which is very heroic. And then she died. Well, Alessandro went to jail, obviously. Now, in my opinion, I think he's a saint, and I'll tell you why. So he goes to jail. He's 19 years old, so he passes as a kid or something back then. So he didn't get a full lifelong sentence. But he got I want to say it was 23 years or so. In that timing, in the first timing of it, oh my gosh, there's so many comments coming up. Beeks, Hulin said, how are you? I'm pretty good. Yeah, thank you. Hi. So he goes to prison, and he's just cold-hearted, hard-hearted. That's the way he was brought up, everything. And so he, couldn't be, he had to be in isolation because the more they put him with other prison inmates, the more he had fights and things. He was just that kind of kid. So finally they put him in isolation. Well, one day, this is really interesting, but one day St. Maria Goretti, because she was, the saint in heaven now, because if you die for your faith, you're a martyr and you go straight to heaven. So she's in heaven, and she appeared to him. I feel like it was a dream or a vision, but either way, it was both. And she appeared to him, and she said she gave him 7 white lilies, because he stabbed her. I'm sorry, 14 white lilies, because he stabbed her 14 times. And she was but as he gave her the lilies, they turned into grace. And he was up until that point, he was not repentant. He was just oh my gosh, why didn't she give in? It's her fault that she died and all this stuff. And when she said to him in the vision, I want to see you in heaven with me. I'm sorry, this is just so hard to talk about because it's just so cute. But so he began to reform his life. He became the model prisoner, which means he was perfect. And he got out, and he, went to confession, did different things. And then eventually he became a monk. The Capuchins, I think. And he became a monk, and he was just extremely repentant. And he died because he fell and broke his femur or something. And he died. He died at age 80 something. But he wrote this letter to young people and to people, and he said don't go down the straight path. Oh, I'm losing my voice. Don't go down the wrong path. And just the way he was brought up was just horrifying. His mom died in I don't know what they called psych wards back then, but she died in something like that. His dad obviously was a drunk and stuff. And when he was a baby, his mother tried to drown him in the tub because she was obviously crazy. But I really believe that Alessandro is a saint. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't mean to bring this up because I really don't like Lady Gaga. But she has this song called Alessandro or Alejandro. And I was listening to one of her songs because I was out of my mind. But she takes the story that I'm telling you guys as a mockery kind of, and turns it into a song. And anyway, so I do not recommend listening to it. But in that song, I realized that Alessandro was actually really good in his life, and that he is the saint of the impossible because of what he went through. So, okay, so when I was mentally not okay, there was a time where, gosh, it's starting to talk about, but I was walking the roads. I'm not going to say where because I don't tell where I'm from. Actually, it wasn't where I was from, but still. I was walking these roads, and I was so out of my mind. I had no idea what was going on. I was kind of having Alzheimer's, but worse. And I was okay, like, I'm just going to walk on this road. It might take me home. It might not, but it's worth walking. Like, it just didn't make sense. But eventually I got really, really, really tired. And so this car pulls up, or this truck or whatever, and is like, hey, like, do you need a ride? And I'm like, honest to God, like, if this guy pulled up when I was in my right mind, I wouldn't have gotten in, you know what I mean? But I think he knew I was in my wrong mind. But anyway, so he pulls up and he's like, do you need a ride? I'm going back to Pittsburgh. And I'm like, yeah. And so I get in his truck. I got in his truck and we're driving along, and I had a really good relationship with Alessandra at this time. But he was like, it's going to be a long drive back to Pittsburgh, because I was like really far from Pittsburgh. And he's going to be a really long drive back to Pittsburgh. He's like, I'm going to have to stop at a hotel. And I was like dozing in and out. I swear to God I was. And I was like, oh yeah, that's fine, whatever. And then he goes, no, but I don't have enough money for 2 beds. Even though I was like out of my mind and like just like crazy, I knew what was going on. And now I was like, I gotta get out of here now. So I don't know if I opened the door to the car, but it was something like that. He pulls over into like this gravel parking lot thing. I don't know what it was. And he's like trying to entice me, like, I'm going to kick you out of my car if you don't consent to this. And I took the opportunity. So I opened my door to jump out, and he like started moving again because he didn't want me to jump out, but I jumped out anyway. And I landed on my knees, and I was just exhausted. This is the middle of the night, I swear. So I get up and I'm like, he's going to try to take me by force or something. So I called, this is why I think Alessandra was real despite other things. But I called on him, and he said, put your hand down like you have a spiritual knife. Like pretend like you have a knife. But like, I had this blue coat on, and he was like, stick it out, make it look like you have a knife, like just stick it out. So I did, and I stuck it out. He drove away. Like, it was so terrifying, guys. But that's why I believe in that he's a saint, because he always helps me when I need help. Or like one of them, I don't know if you guys will understand, so maybe I won't tell that one. But like, he always helped. And when I was in the isolation room and I was just trying to get ends to meet, in my mind and everything, he always showed me these crosses that showed like God is here and you can pray to him and stuff like that. Yeah. So I just want to tell you guys that story because they're actually trying to make St. Alessandro a saint, and through the Pope and everything. And I think that's a really good idea. I know a lot of people that could profit from him being a saint too. But yeah. Okay, so, but going back to talking about the love of God, guys, my hair is getting, this isn't part of the subject. I mean, it kind of is, but my hair is getting so long. But how have you guys been doing? Speaking about the love of God, I want to know how you guys have been. I've been okay. I am still struggling with this medical problem. Just girl issues. But I'm going to see a doctor at the end of this month, so that should be good. That was a call for. I am not even tired. I got so much sleep this morning. I don't know what that was. But the love of God surpasses all understanding because God really loves you. And I'm learning that God really goes before you. So like anything we're thinking, saying, feeling, our emotions or anything, God is behind that. And whether you realize it or not, stupid stuff. Whether you realize it or not, he's behind everything that happens to you. And nothing, not a pin drops to the ground without God allowing it or permitting it. You know what I mean? Like, God is in control. And just talking about this actually helps me too, because I don't know, it just seems so good. Guys, I need to go for a second, but I will get back on maybe later. But God bless you.